So I'm going to solve the question rat in a maze. So the question is defined as this: the rat begins at the 0, comma 0 index of n cross n grid, and the rat needs to reach the n minus 1, comma n minus 1 coordinate. That is the last ending coordinate diagonally. So find the possible path the rat can take from 0 to n minus 1, comma n minus. The directions are all up, down, left, and right. And some of the cells are blocked, so the rat can't go there. And we have to return the all possible paths in the form of a string. So we can firstly define a global variable vector in answer presented currently. Then we can make a recursion function called void call that returns nothing and takes in vector of int and width. Then we need to know the current position of a rat in the maze, so we can input int row int column, and we may have to maintain the current path the rat has to work. So we will keep a string current that. So if the rat has successfully reached the ending of the path, we can know this by comparing the row with the grid size. We could simply make an integer n, which is grid dot size if row equals to n minus 1 and then column is equals to n minus 1. We could simply add the part to our answer dot push back current path current and return, so that it doesn't go keep on repeating it. Then we could define that the current step is covered so that it doesn't loop on infinitely. We could say grid row column is equals to 0. That is the rat no more can go at that position. So this, and while ending the function, we could define grid row column 1, so that for the next recursion it continuously it unblocks the path for the next recursion. So we could define we could take would have to write many if statement for each of the up, down, left, and right. Instead, we could make two vectors, vector and d row, which will have paths -1, 1, 0, and 0, and vector in d column 0, comma 0, -1, comma 1. Then we could define a vector mapping those direction with char variable direction is equals to. So this is -1 in the row, so this will be down. Sorry, up. -1 in the row, so it will be down. This is -1 in the column, so it will be left, and this will be right. Okay. We have defined the direction. So now we have to define a loop to try all the possible combinations of I is equals to 0, I less than 4, I plus plus. Then we can make a new row after the change in new row is equals to current row plus B row ith iteration and end new column equals to column plus D column ith iteration combination. And now we have to check whether the rat could actually move to that position or it's like out of the range, out of the block. Like it can't go beyond minus one, can't have negative indexes or like after n. So we have to go the check new row has to be greater than 0 and then new row has to be lesser than n and then new column also have to follow these greater than equal to 0 and then new column has to be lesser than, and we have to go the last check of whether it is 0 or not. If it is 1, then only we can possibly go at that part. So whether grade new to new column allows us to do. So now we could we have to change the current string to add the new part. So we could do current dot push back the uh, current direction, which is the direction dot I. Call the recursive function solve with grade comma the new row, the new column, and the current direction so far. And we also have to like pop back so that it could be doing for the next recursive iteration. So direction I, sorry, it automatically possible. So don't need to include this here. It will work just fine without including it. So think we are good. Now we just have to call the function here and n is equals to with the size. You can impose certain checks here. If n is equals to 0 or grade starting position that is 0, comma 0 is equals to 0, the rack can't move in any direction because of if the first index is not aligned with 2 and it's an obstacle, or else the grade last, which is n minus 1, n minus 1 is 0. So no matter what the rack takes, if the last vertex is unreachable, it can't reach it. So return answer the empty one. Then we will call the solve with current rate 0, 0, and the current string, which is string current empty and और तू बनाऊं पहले नहीं बाद में नहीं मैंगो शेक चुप तो बताना मैं सोने चली जाऊंगी सोने जाओ 2 बजे भी मैंने सामान बना के चलो फ्रिज में लगाऊं int grade and 2 column Also the pushback, return it, keeping the grid zero, keeping it zero. Let's try this. Mm, It's accepted, so it's running just fine. So yeah, it's fine.